There it is.
At 3 minutes, 21 seconds, my run was like fake Nilla wafers. Unsatisfying. James was to run next. Kind of aggressive for Captain Slow.
A little bit of wheel spin off the line. This Land Cruiser has the Toyota 2F engine, which has a lot more torque than the 22R in Jeremy's truck. This allows me to get to a much higher gear much sooner. This version of the Land Cruiser is what is known as the FJ60. It had a much longer wheelbase than the previous FJ40. The FJ40 had a wheelbase of about 85 inches, which was much more than the original Land Rover. This, however, has a wheelbase of about 120 inches. While this does compromise maneuverability somewhat, it does provide much more stable and handling and a more comfortable ride off-road, making it a better overall vehicle.
James' 2F was pulling him fast, fat kid chasing an ice.
Proponents of the Range Rover and the Land Rover always call it the best 4x4 by far, and frankly I have to agree. While both the Land Cruiser and the Range Rover are amazing off-road, once you get a vehicle like this, the Land Cruiser on-road, it starts to suffer, whereas that's where the Range Rover truly shines. These were used for many years by both Australians and Middle Easterns for their rugged utility, where the utilitarianism didn't matter quite as much as their reliability, and that is the true strong point of these vehicles, their reliability.
I was wrong about James' turning. Managed to swing it one, but barely.
Frankly, I don't see how rally drivers do it. Driving off-road quickly is very hard work. Whereas we're only going 45 or 50 at the very most, WRC drivers routinely hit 85 or 90 on much tighter courses. This is why it's often much more dangerous to be a spectator at a WRC event than it is to be a driver.
On his way back, James was like laughing on a very hot day.
Right now I'm only going 45, but it does feel very hectic, and after not months of this, you can start to feel the fatigue of having to concentrate set in. Going into the final straight. Power down, fourth gear. And done.
At 3 minutes, 12 seconds, I had lost to Captain Slow. I was as angry as that fat kid who never caught the ice cream truck. By the time we got Hammond's faux Toyota running, the sun had set to a level where our cameras were useless. And Hammond was off. There would be in-car Hammond, but the windows of the truck did not roll down, so our cameramen were proven futile. Now I got to drive this truck, and seeing Hammond only hitting 20 miles an hour made sense. Power is gone. The 1984 engine has been used up. He managed to swing the turn and won, I don't know how, without power steering. He made it. He also made it right to the water. Sadly, I had run out of similes, so James finished the narration.
Our timers only went to 9 minutes, so we were not able to take the entirety of Hammond's run. Regardless, his run was so slow that it proved why dots no longer exist.
And now for the news.
Alright, we have an interesting find here. This was a 1937 Bugatti 57 SC. It has been in a barn for over 60 years. They've just recently found it and sold a stake. They say it's worth well over $4 million. Could you imagine finding that in their garage?
I would love to find that in my garage.
Wow. Great news! The Dacia Sandero will now be available in diesel form in Brazilian markets.
That's great! Now what we have here is a new lorry by Volvo. It's the FH16. This is claimed to be the most powerful lorry on the streets. It has a new engine putting out 700 horsepower, up from a previous 650. But the astounding feature is its torque. It puts out 2,300 pound-feet to the ground.
Now, I'm not sure I understand that, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't lorries limited to 56 miles an hour in England? And isn't this directed at the English market?
Maybe now they have incentive to raise the speed limit on lorries.
To 58.
Ooh. What we have here is a new luxury car put out by Fisker called the Carmen, set to be released in 2009.
What I don't understand is, this is a plug-in electric, correct?
Yeah.
Was there really a market for fast, four-door, electric, gas, plug-in hybrids that cost 130,000 pounds?
What kind of gas mileage are they expecting to get off this?
They're estimating about 50. But,
I think it's probably useless to have a car that plugs in, to be honest with you.
I totally agree with you there. It doesn't make the right noises.
No, it probably would sound like a little, I don't know, a little
Winding weed
Yo,
eater,
down
just
the- yeah.
a weed eater running down the road.
it does have a four-cylinder, which is ridiculous in a car that big that kind of just sort of tries to look like a Jaguar.
How does it even move without such a little engine?
What I don't understand is that the Tesla Roadster is all electric and it drives pretty well. So why don't you just have a reasonably economic sedan during your week and then have something more fun during the weekend? This is kind of the worst of both worlds as I see it.
Well, James, this is kind of a luxury vehicle. Do you think it's going to be nice to have an electric motor so you don't hear the sound of an engine running?
Yes, but what's the point if it's so fast?
Is this fast?
I believe it does 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds.
Really?
Yeah, so it's
And that little engine?
Well, it's electric.
I wonder what it weighs.
The Fisker Carmen will be available in March of 2009 for everyone that doesn't care.
Right. When the BMW E30 was introduced in the early 1980s, it received wide acclaim. This was the second 3 Series after the 002, and was also the basis of the first M3. Tonight, we have a 1987 E30 325i. While not the M3, this does have the inline 6, which produces more power. Of course, we cannot test it. This is why we handed it over to our tame racing driver. Some say that in his language there is only one word for both piping clover and food. And that even though he always wears a full racing helmet, he still has a perfect tan. All we know is that he's not the Stig, but he is the Stig Hatteras Island Cut.
The Stig, pondering why this is the Pagani Zondo we promised him. And he's off, getting it hard off the start. Coming in pretty quick to Bob McElbend. Braking hard, close to the woody turn. Pretty quick to the ball that cul-de-sac. Kind of a tight line for the Stig. They make it around. Accelerating back hard toward woody turn. Ooh, a little bit of oversteer there. Back around Bob Mackel one last time. The end is near. It's over. Some say it's how they celebrate weddings in the Stig's culture. They must have been quite pleased with that run.
The producers had scheduled other challenges, but due to a scheduling mix-up, Hammond had to get his teeth white. On that bombshell, good night.